to the bold analysis. Let me start by saying Raila Odinga should not meddle with impeachment motion against Aden Duale. And like this gentleman says, Raila's family needs to hide him from political misuse and manipulation.
Raila is now protecting and fighting for the corrupt. He is protecting Sakaja from being impeached. Raila, a man who is known to fight against corruption, is now the one fighting for the corrupt and protecting the corrupt. It is so sad. I know very well that old age comes with some disadvantages, but Raila's family must protect Raila from these selfish politicians. Raila is old now, and there are people who want to take advantage of him. I know very well that these corrupt and selfish politicians want to take advantage of Raila. They steal, they loot, and use Raila as a shield. It is so sad. Very, very sad. Raila must be protected by his family. It is time that Raila needs to be protected by his family. The family can now say that you cannot just talk to Raila directly. This is an old man which now I think is losing his mind. And politicians, some selfish politicians, are now taking advantage of his old age. It is only good that his family can protect him from these people. Or else, they are going to taint his name. They are going to ruin his legacy. Raila has a good legacy, by the way. He has tried somehow. Even though he was only fighting for himself. He has tried. That legacy should not be ruined by these selfish and corrupt politicians who want now to use Raila as a shield. Look what is happening in Nairobi. Sakaja want to use Raila now to protect him. Sakaja is unprotectable. Sakaja is the most incompetent governor in all the 47 counties. And sometimes I ask myself, how did Sakaja made it as a governor in Nairobi? How did he convince Nairobians to vote for him? It is so sad that in Nairobi, a capital city of Kenya, a capital city of Africa, is being governed by the most incompetent person in Kenya. It is so sad. Sometimes I fail to understand that. But
kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We do this each and every day because of your support. I need to repeat here. It is very regrettable that Odinga was used, or rather is being used, is being manipulated in the fight against corruption. It is a settled matter that Raila will not be a president anytime. That is settled. Raila will not be president. He's not in that equation again. But that legacy, that does not mean that Odinga's influence is at disposal of the highest bidder at the time the country needs to be fixed.
My fellow Kenyans, my fellow East Africans, my fellow Africans, you know, former Prime Minister said, and I thought that he was right, and I agree with him. I still think that that point is valid. But you know, he speaks, and then he acts in a different way. You know, we want the real Raila Odinga to stand up. I think the man has shown us that we were lucky by circumstance that he's not president. Because if he was, can you imagine what would happen to this country? We probably just, you know, now we see the real him. You know, power actually brings you out. And when you come to the end of the line and you didn't get the power, you also show who you are. So yesterday, the president, we know who he is. You know, at least President Ruto, the one thing we have is we know he's consistent about his business as usual style. But the guy who dotted himself with the liberation struggle stuff, Mr. Odinga, was yesterday bamboozling the same thing he said the other day. He said we should let the MCAs deal with the governors. Well, the MCAs of Nairobi County want to deal with Mr. Sakaja, who, on his reign, this is what's going on. Look, that's raw sewage. See that? Right next to a mosque. Right there. This is raw sewage. I'm going to get rid of that when I'm MP. I'm going to get rid of all these things. Because I'm going to raise hell. There'll be marches to the city council. Oh yes, there'll be civil and political marches unknown. We're going to elect MCAs in Langata who are going to do their job. Not go over there and make money. Just make money. That's what has been going on. And Langata, and especially South Sea, has become a disaster. Just look. Just look. This is one of the poshest places in Nairobi. It used to be, I was born here. None of these people who are MCAs or these things were born here. They're from Mandera, from Eldoret, from other places. But my grandfather was born here. Look. Now they've demolished everything here. The houses are being built in the corners of junctions. Look, he's the one who's giving permits. There is another one. Here is normal housing, and then look there. Look, you see that? That's Sakaja giving them a carte blanche, turning this neighborhood into a disaster. You can see the sewage down there, right? That's sewage. So the MCAs are going to deal with Mr. Sakaja and say that you're destroying this. If you go up to Kilimani, you'll be shocked. Nairobi has become a dumpster. Lo and behold comes Mr. Odinga, and with the loads of money that...
It is very bad, as this analyst is saying. Now, because of the SHA mess, MPs from majority of them from Western Kenya are already collecting signatures to launch an impeachment motion against the Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale. And this is because he has failed to take responsibility, or rather he is responsible for the SHA mess in the country. When an impeachment motion was tabled against Sakaja, it had to take MCAs to be summoned by Raila. And today I saw Beatrice Elachi saying, you know, Raila is the person that brings stability, that the county needs to be stable.
When you destabilize Nairobi, you destabilize Kenya. The members of parliament from Nairobi City County stand in solidarity with our governor, Sakaja Johnson, during this simmering period of turbulence. While we pray and hope that dialogue is given a chance, we want to thank our county assembly members and to appreciate that they've agreed to do dialogue. It is increasingly becoming clear that attempts of removal of elected governors from office by impeachment has become more common, and in many instances by speculative constitutional organs, without realizing when you're in midterm of any election or in midterm of any term of those in elected office, it's very difficult to realize what you would wish to realize. And so it's very critical to destabilize instead of gaining.
When the county is not stable, the people of Nairobi are going to lose. I don't even buy that Beatrice Elachi statement. Why? What is the essence of having unstable country? We'd rather have unstable country than a stable country with unstable economy. So, after Duale and the team realized that an impeachment motion will be tabled against him in the National Assembly after recess, and he's failed to answer the SHA question, now he rushed to Western Kenya. And the story of St. Mary's Hospital, the government is rewriting it. He was in Kakamega. That meeting, they invited several members of parliament from Western Kenya to help in the PR exercise. I think Adan Duale has emerged as the new cabinet secretary that has survived on PR.
We have, believe, a pending payment of 35 million claims, 5 million that we expected from SHA, and that's what we believe that will help us to be able to clear the arrears of the workers. And we are also receiving information because of the verifications that have to go on, that 10 million of the claims have still to be verified. So it means that we have to continue engaging with SHA, but I can confirm that we have had all the money. The genesis of the strike of the workers came because of the accruing arrears from NHIF, which is about 143 million. But now we are talking about what has been dispersed by SHA. And I can confirm that each month SHA has always dispersed its money, and the pending claims is what we have negotiated, and we have agreed that once other documentations are submitted, then we believe in the coming 1 week we may receive about 14 million, and that is able to help us to be able to engage the workers to return to work so that the people can be served. We want to thank the ministry for having made this effort to come, and I believe the idea of SHA, because of reaching out to all the patients, is a good idea.
The other day he was in the office, the Ministry of Health officers, taking photos with pamphlets that he has submitted files to DCI to investigate some hospitals. And we really opposed that thing here, saying, you cannot give us files for hospitals to be investigated while yourself you need to be investigated. So today again he was in Western Kenya for another PR exercise on St. Mary's Hospital, because he realized that MPs are out to impeach him.
Ati unatafuta wakora, siningeimpichwa kama mimi nakula pesa ya umma. That, by the way, the grounds for impeachment, na mimi nimekaa bunge. The grounds for impeachment is in the constitution. The ground for impeachment is if I allow public resources to be stolen. Lakini unajua mzee anaitwa Michuki alikuwa waziri wa transport. Akasema watu hawatasimama kwa matatu, watakaa chini na watavaa seat belt. Walivaa au kuvaa? Walivaa au kuvaa? Hii afya, kama umezoea kuiba NHIF, wewe ngojea wakati ile President Ruto hayuko na mimi si waziri wa afya. And the Council of Governors are 100% with us. And we will not shy away. And we will not be intimidated by politicians addressing funerals. Na kama mimi ni kukuja hiyo funeral, mimi nitakuja. Kwani funeral nani atanizuia? Ukiongea mimi naongea. Ukienda harusi mimi naongea. Ukikuja rally mimi nakuja. Hii Kenya, we must get rid of leaders who are dishonest. Yeye ako na cover ya 10 million outpatient. huyo mjumbe ama huyo senator ako na cover ngapi? The people is addressing in the funeral even are unable to pay the minimum premium ya SHA. Yeye ako na mortgage ya 30 million, ananunua nyumba, anaishi Karen, lakini akiambiwa hawa ambaye wanaishi kitongoji duni ambaye hawana maji, hawana choo vizuri wajengewe, anasema hapana, anapinga. Na yeye anaishi wapi? Karen, anapata 30.
There are also attempts to reach out to Raila Odinga to convene another PG. There is another PG that is supposed to be convened next week ahead of Parliamentary recess, coming out from recess, because they know that because Parliament has been angry with the president on proclamation that, on pronouncement that they are corrupt, they might actually punish president by impeaching Adan Duale. And they've been saying Parliament needs to retain or regain its autonomy. So Raila again is being sought to convene a PG so that to save Duale from an impeachment motion that will be tabled in the National Assembly. And listen to what Duale was saying, how Duale was talking in Kakamega. You know, I remember even Mithika Linturi faced an impeachment. Aliogopa sana hata kuwa. I want you to imagine the kind of confidence a cabinet secretary is facing an impeachment from MPs and is coming out to tell off those MPs against that impeachment. Why do I support impeachment motion against Duale? Through that impeachment, we'll happen to know more. Kenyans are going to swear affidavits. Insiders in the Ministry of Health and even from these hospitals are going to say more. And that is why William Ruto and the team are not very comfortable with any impeachment motion against any cabinet secretary. Because through an impeachment motion, members of the public and different informers and whistleblowers are going to tell the country the mess.
So, St. Mary Hospital, from where we sit, has not been closed by SHA, has not been closed by the regulator, Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. Their license is valid, has not been closed by the Digital Health Agency that controls the system. So from where we sit, St. Mary Hospital has all the valid licenses from all our agencies. So those who are peddling in funerals and want to use St. Mary, I am telling them here from Kakamega, this weekend you better look for something else. St. Mary is not available for you. We have resolved it. And Bishop, when you open, I will come back.
So it will be upon the MPs to impeach. And that is why they can go to the length and breadth of everything to make sure that no impeachment motion sees the light of the day. Now, I want us to just look at the St. Mary's Hospital issue. That hospital was closed. And it was closed because of a go-slow. They refused to work. Why? After transition from NHIS to SHA, there were pending bills. And those pending bills crippled the facility. Today, you see the Catholic pastor, bishop from there, surrounded by whole government, plus governor, plus everyone, by police, talking, trembling trying to salvage the image of government from it. If you look at that bishop talking, he looks someone talking under duress. Because alikuwa realized, the government had realized that Malala and his team were already getting away with bashing government about this issue. This is the truth. Yes, SHA has paid. But from transition from NHIS to SHA, there were pending bills. Duale is telling us that the hospitals has not been closed over SHA. That according to him, the hospital is not even closed. This is what Duale is saying. So as you can see, they went and ran a big PR exercise in Kakamega on that one hospital. And as we talk, that hospital is closed. It's not even working. The governor was roped in. The governor has never, Governor Fernandez Baraza has never commented about that hospital. I saw him standing behind the bishop and Duales were behind him. So that they make a statement that, you know, the hospital is not closed over SHA. The hospital is closed over SHA because it is SHA who took over the bills from NHIF. So there is no way you can now come and tell us if the hospital has been, in fact, Mudavadi was saying it was misappropriation of funds. The hospital has been closed over SHA. Why? There are pending bills, pending salaries, and pending cost expenses that have not been paid and have not been taken care of. Because after transition from NHIF to SHA, SHA has failed to meet its obligation to pay those pending bills. And of course, if they don't pay, who is this supposed to pay? It is them who are supposed to pay. Now they're coming out to say they're not. And that is, if we face an impeachment motion, if an impeachment motion against Duale is tabled, that is when we will happen to know the truth. And we really want also to know the truth. Someone had hide Raila from Duale impeachment. If Raila is allowed around this, there will be another meeting and MPs will not even take that impeachment motion. And without that impeachment motion, we will not audit SHA. Probably that is the only opportunity for whistleblowers to tell the country the truth on how money is being siphoned. And I want to say this. While Raila appears, postures as a man stabilizing the country, when they had a handshake with William Ruto, he said he was stabilizing the country from going to the rags. Now, he saved Sakaja from impeachment, stabilizing the country. Now, if you save Sakaja Duale from an impeachment, will you have stabilized ministry? If Duale now is not a ministry for health, will that ministry collapse? And I think Odinga should not accept to be used in this manner. You know what? There are two things, as I finish up, that William Ruto wants to achieve with all this. Number one, to make sure that Raila Odinga will not have a voice in the next general election. And he will be carefully, he will do it. In fact, it was in his interest. Impeach Rigathi, let Rigathi become the opposition leader, and from an impeachment motion probably is removed by impeachment, probably he cannot become president, and then goes to destroy Raila. And has destroyed Raila. He will not have a voice beyond his loyal Raila money, not even the Luo nation, or not even the whole Luo nation. He will not have that. He set up Raila against the people. And just to know that, listen to what Babu was saying. Babu was asking a very good question that I've been asking. How can Kalonzo be a bad man? And he supported Raila Odinga 3 times. You know, he's destroying Odinga. Let me tell you. Some of us are waiting for the day Raila Odinga will say Ruto Tosha. We are waiting for that day. That is the day we will ask him, what has Ruto done that Kalonzo has not sacrificed for him? Some of us will ask those questions. A Ruto Tosha moment that Raila is supposed to do is supposed to be one of the opportunities to destroy him. So once number one is to destroy Raila. Number two is to make sure that when he is going home, he's going home with Raila and everyone. He wants to go home with everyone. And sadly, the sad part of it is Odinga is in a comfort zone that cannot break from all this. I still repeat, hide Raila from Duale impeachment. Thank you.